A senior special assistant to the governor of Ondo State on Public Enlightenment, Olufemi Lawson, joins me on the news for more perspectives on the president's speech this morning. It's good to have you join us. The president, first off, let me start by asking you, what did you think about the president's speech?
The first thing I want to say about the president's speech is that, firstly, it demonstrates that now we have a president that is listening, because we have had in this country where citizens have been on the streets for as long as 10, 12, 20 days. And of course, all you will read are going to be press statements from presidential aides and appointees, and no one cares talking about what is happening to Nigerians. In just about 48 hours of the protest, President Bola Tinubu personally came out to address Nigerians about their concerns which are being raised through the protest. Is commendable. And I think the president's speech has also addressed some of the fundamental issues that have necessitated the protest, which has been experienced in some parts of the country, even though not all. So I want to say that it is commendable that I think we now have a president that is listening, and we have a government that is willing to engage the citizens, especially when you read through the statement of the president, to the extent that it has opened, and offered the opportunity for dialogue between the government and citizens that have raised concerns.
Of course, the president, as just like you mentioned, has opened the door for dialogue. The president's asking them to suspend the protest and come to the dialogue table. In specific terms, what do you think the president and the demonstrators should be talking about?
The demonstrators have raised key issues, made key requests about their expectation about from the government. The president have also reeled out some of the interventions his administration has made in the last couple of months that has been in office. I want to personally say that if anyone has expected magic, considering where he inherited the country from, I want to sincerely say I've never been one of those, even though as a Nigerian we expected that. And he must also give it to the president that he accepted responsibility for the challenges being faced by the country. That nonetheless, the meeting point here is that the president has stated what the administration is doing. The demonstrators have continued to make specific demands. Now is the time for the protesting Nigerians and the government to sit and harmonize on those areas where the government can be immediate, answer the request of the protesters, while on the other hand, provide time and of course make proposals to when some of these demands can be met by the government. Like I said, it's not going to be a rocket science. It's not going to be an overnight, possibility for government to meet these demands. Especially, I want to emphasize when you remember and consider the kind of country inherited by President Tinubu May 29, 2023.
Well, the president said, in his speech that the buck stops on his table. Some persons will say that it's fine, taking responsibility. But what about the subnational, like governors and local government chairmen, particularly your state, Ondo State? What is your governor doing to help out in the situation and ensure? The question is, are people not hungry in Ondo State?
I've seen a lot of people making series of response to the president's speech. But I think one reality that we must also accept, and one commendable decision of the president, is to accept responsibility being the leader of the country. But I want to sincerely think, if you look holistically into the demands being made by protesters, if you look holistically into the issues confronting Nigeria today, our states and other subnational bodies have roles to play. One of the things that has taken us to where we are today is that a lot of people have come to the conclusion that every problem confronting Nigeria must be solved from Abuja. Then the question is this: what are the subnational bodies, particularly the state governments, doing? The president reeled out in a statement that he has given about 5 billion to states and the federal capital to support programs that are pushing the effect of this hardship. In all those states, people have asked on a number of occasions in the last couple of days that why are the people of Ondo State not protesting? It was not an accident. If you know the history of Ondo State, this is a state among the most politically conscious when you talk about politics and people's consciousness in Nigeria. But what the people of Ondo State are on the street, it's a product of the fact that the Ondo State government has taken responsibility, not just like the president did this morning. In the last couple of days, the governor of Ondo State, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, has personally, without constituting committee or sending intermediaries, taking charge of engaging with the citizens of Ondo State across every strata, from religious organizations to professional bodies, to students, to youth organizations, to market women, even to the ordinary citizens, engaging them and listening to their demands, some of which are part of the reasons why we have this protest today. And I can tell you in the last couple of days, the state has not only listened to this demand, the state has taken deliberate steps. The state government, as I speak to you, is going to be paying all fee for all secondary school students that are writing final examination. The state is providing shuttle buses for all public schools in Ondo State. The state, for the first time in about 8 years, has approved bursary and scholarship for all students in Ondo State. The state is now clearing land and providing inputs for farmers in Ondo State. These are issues that, if governments across the state are also addressing, who is the burden on Abuja? But a lot of times, all of us look forward to Abuja, expecting the magic from the president. I think this is the time to now begin to call out other subnational bodies, including the state and the local government, that they must also play their role in easing the burden on the Nigerian people. Nigerians have legitimate grounds to demand for better life from their government, but government must also show responsibility by listening to this demand. In the last 10 days, Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has had meetings almost from morning till night, purely addressing concerns that are raised by the people of Ondo State. And that is why in the last 3 days, you don't find anybody on the streets of Ondo State protesting.
Of course, the popularity of your governor will be tested in the coming months. Mr. Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ondo State on Public Enlightenment, Olufemi Lawson, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you, Precious.
We are watching TVC News this hour. We'll take a moment and then return with more stories. Just stay with us.